This woman is an expert in diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is short for reverse racism. As a businesswoman, she actually is quoted in saying that if their company doesn't get what they want, threaten them with what could happen.
Put this stuff up to your higher ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
This woman is so consumed by her ideological delusion of
You're a hateful bigot who is a sexist, misogynist, racist, and homophobic, and xenophobic.
oh, and I almost forgot, transphobic, too, you hateful bigot. All because you either had a different creative vision for your game. Maybe the lead character was white.
Excuse me, sir, but we don't do that here. We don't express our white fragility here. Instead, we practice stretching our whiteness. You should try it sometime.
Oh my goodness, what a nightmare. The fact that they weaponize empathy by manipulating people into believing it's okay to be racist to the descendants of people who sinned. Hey, they were racist first, so we have a right to not only express racist beliefs toward them, but force diversity into games. We're not going to let it be natural. We'll force it too. We'll even discriminate against white males. Because who needs them? They aren't a huge part of the demographic or anything. And yes, there are companies that refuse to hire white men as well. Now, in Kim Belair's case, Kim Belair works for a company with woke ideology. Now, what's wrong with wokeness, and why is it bad if Kim Belair enters your creative space? Imagine you have this great character, Alan Wake. You want to make a sequel to this game, and the first game was about a white dude who was going through psychological delusions in a dream state, kind of like Silent Hill. Really cool. Next thing you know, the company you work for is forced to get ESG points for their company. So they force you to add in diversity, equity, and inclusion in the media, which at this point is just short for reverse racism. What? What'd you say, Tarragon? Did you say reverse racist? Are you saying that Kim Belair and Sweet Baby Inc. are racist? Are you saying that the people who accuse everyone else of being racist are the biggest racists themselves? But how? How? Let me tell you. Like I said before, you want to make a sequel to this game. And the first game was about a white dude who was going through psychological delusions in a dream state, kind of like Silent Hill. So what do you do for the sequel?
Excuse me, sir, but there's just a little too much white here. I'd appreciate it if you'd blackify this a bit.
Blackify?
Show more representation.
What if one of the main characters was a girl? Maybe she was black.
And lesbian.
No way. I didn't think about that. I just made my idea the way I wanted to make it.
We gotta do something. Maybe she's black. Maybe she's a strong female character.
You gotta make diverse characters, diverse people. You can't just represent white people. That's racist.
Oh shit, I don't want to be racist. Bam, game ruined. You forced in a diverse character for the sake of virtue signaling and not getting in trouble with the company. And now in your game sequel, Ellen Woke 2. The main character is not only overshadowed by the
Female power fantasy.
but she's a black woman overshadowing a game that was designed for a white man. This is ridiculous. People like her poison media with disturbing and uncomfortable moments, like forcing in a mission where you play as a deaf girl in Spider-Man. Does it look like anyone wants to experience something that sad and uncomfortable in a video game about Spider-Man? No. This is some uncomfortable, depressing shit. Forcing in a black woman for the sequel to Alan Wake, and making over half of it all about her, when this game is about Alan Wake. Her ideology is woke ideology, which is the ideology that perpetuates a racist ideology while accusing the other side of being racist. When they do stuff like that, that proves they're the biggest racists themselves. One of the biggest problems with media is that they keep trying to, instead of having women have their own games and men have ours, they want to replace the male power fantasy with women. Men and women are not the same. One can't fill the gender role of another. And yeah, there's only two genders. Invading other people's creative work, forcing in an evil ideology that poisons the mind with disturbing imagery, strange, bizarre, and abnormal morals that are being forced into games, movies, and media. Justifying reverse racism by saying, oh, because of Jim Crow, slavery, and the civil rights movement. That gives black people justification to be racist towards white people and even change their games to fit a more diverse image. Except you got one part of that wrong, you see. The white people that you keep trying to guilt, white guilt. And by the way, why is there a color for the feeling of guilt? Just say guilt, man. Idiots. Libtards, I swear. Anywho, the white people you keep trying to make feel guilty had nothing to do with the following: Jim Crow, slavery, and black people just getting civil rights in the 60s. They are ordinary, normal people who have lives, and a lot of them don't make racist jokes, don't act racist towards black people. They don't discriminate or even create laws that discriminates. Now, you have gaming companies that won't hire white men.
I have a team of 21 right now for Validate. It's a pretty big team. It's a crazy big team for indie games. But who is your team? Validate has a team of mostly all people of color. We have no white people on our team. I did that because I wanted to create a safe environment. And I know the best way for an environment to be safe is to be around people who are just like me.
I know some people who agree with that. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that white people in the industry are creating unsafe environments. I'm not saying that. That is not what I'm saying. I am saying that sometimes it is hard to work with white people because they think that something made it okay, but it was really a microaggression. And no one wants to deal with that while they're trying to make a game that they love.
Isn't this like basically illegal?
That's literally discrimination. You'll have companies that represent black people on television and streaming services. We have representation through video games, TV, and TV shows. Afro Samurai 2, Akuji the Heartless, Alan Woke 2, As Dusk Falls, Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry, Assassin's Creed Origins, Bad Day LA, Barkley Shut Up and Jam, Barkley Shut Up and Jam 2, Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, Beat Down Fist of Vengeance, Baby's Kids, Beverly Hills Cop, Blade, Blade 2, Blowout, Bo Jackson Baseball, Broken Age, Catwoman the Video Game, Command and Conquer, Cory in the House, Crackdown, Crackdown 3, Crisis 3, Daley Thompson's Decathlon, Dendara, The Dark Pictures Anthology The Devil in Me, The Dark Pictures Anthology Man of Medan, Dead Island 2, Deathloop, Death Jam Vendetta, Detroit Become Human, Dishonored Death of the Outsider, Dreamfall Chapters, El Paso Elsewhere, The Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard, Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, Far Cry New Dawn, Faust, Foreman For Real, Furry. These either have a black protagonist or multiple black characters. A lot of these, the main character is black. We are represented all over media. It might not be 100% perfect, however, it's still way better than how we were represented in the past. How can you have all these games with black protagonists but still claim to be marginalized, to the point in which you think that justifies taking away male protagonists, replacing them with women and blacks, sometimes even lesbian, bis, and gays? She supports the glorification of homosexuality, feminism, wokeness, which is forcing diversity onto people who just want to create their game and enjoy their own media. But no,
Your whiteness is just too much to bear. Can you keep it over there?
she has allowed the wokeification of media, and she not only supports that and is basically a reverse racist who is making tons of money off of ruining other people's ideas and being discriminatory towards white people and other people who don't share her ideology. It's called toxic positivity. Or how about turning great games into an uncomfortable seminar on race relations and politics? Yeah, because instead of killing Nazis, we want to turn it into a hardcore leftist ideology game where we talk about race and gender all day. Because fuck it, why not? This is a nightmare. What the fuck? Wokeness itself is evil. So if you force diversity, equity, and inclusion onto other people's great ideas and threaten them by claiming you'd get them in trouble if they don't force that into their own idea, the fuck do you think that means? Kim Belair, utilizing the evil of wokeness to fulfill her own agenda, like a certain someone, Caitlin Kennedy. She did the same thing with Star Wars. Instead of people having passion for their own creativity, they allow this kind of evil to corrupt great ideas and come for other people's escapism and things they enjoy in life over selfish reasons that have nothing to do with, quote unquote, righting the wrongs of the past, sins of the father's nonsense. Wokeness is evil because if someone attacks your land and they have children that have nothing to do with it, you get at the people who did it, dude, not their children. What did the kids have to do with it? I'll tell you, nothing. Anti-white racism or reverse racism affects everybody. It ruins it for everybody. That's why it's evil. Imagine having this fantastic idea. Man, I've been working on this idea for over 5 years. You put blood, sweat, and tears, and you put in all this passion. Then the CEO comes up to you and is like,
Why aren't there strong women?
well, the thing is, I wasn't thinking about that when making the idea.
Well, you need to think about that now, because that's conforming to the patriarchy, and that's sexist and misogynistic.
I'm not sexist, oh my god. Then this person, who's passionate about their own idea, now has to change their own creativity in a way they never would have because, oh, this crazy lady opened her big mouth and is only concerned with feminism or
Girl power.
not the creativity, not the depth, but my own political agenda. As goodness knows, we need more of that. Now the idea is ruined because instead of allowing it to be free and express itself in a way you actually want to do it, the person has altered the creativity just to fit their narrative. And yours gets brushed to the side. Never mind all the years you put into the project because fuck you, I want inclusion. It's funny how they push for this and force this onto people who have been working hard on this kind of creativity for years, only to have their own passion and love for their work soiled by someone forcing this onto them, only to threaten them if they don't conform. This is why wokeness is evil, and this is the kind of fucked up shit Kim Belair supports. She is clearly a reverse racist, using these tactics and justifying it by bringing up Jim Crow, slavery, and the civil rights movement. But here's the kicker. We don't live in that time anymore. America has evolved. Black people not only have rights, America has evolved. Black people now have rights. We are represented all over media, video games, movies. We even have our own network called BET. And we have our own TV shows like Snowfall or Supercell, and it goes on and on. There are even black movies like Man on Fire, American Gangster, Book of Eli, Blade 1 through 3. Need I go on? Then women have representation more than ever before. Again, video games like Control, Resident Evil, Silent Hill 3, Horizon Zero Dawn, the rebooted Tomb Raider, and the list goes on, dude. Hell, they even took Gears of War, and now they want Ghost of Tsushima, which was originally, fun fact, originally that game was going to star Jin Sakai. This is a fact. You can research this, and they scrapped it and replaced him with a woman. How much representation do you need? When will people realize we do not live in a racially divided time to the level of what it was like well over 50 years ago? Times have changed, yet people still want to live in the victimhood psyche and act like they're a victim while using reverse racism. Hell, you even have companies that don't hire white men, and this is okay? Oh, they'll blackwash, but whitewashing is bad? Kim Blair is guilty of all of the above. She has gone on and on about diversity, on and on about inclusion, the poisoning of people's minds in the media, turning people into psychotic, overly leftist nutjobs who want to harm other people's ideas, hell, even attack people over political beliefs. I've seen that when they come after other people's work and creativity that they worked so hard on and ruin it all just to get virtue signaling points and act like they're above everybody. Even if you're polite and say, hey, that's not my cup of tea. Hey, my idea is a certain way, and this is how I wanted to execute it. I can't just force a person of color in, or forcing a woman to be half of the main character's story. Alan woke too. Even when you say something so polite, boom, racist. I don't know if you read about white fear. White fear? So fear is white now? There's basically a racially designed name for fear itself?
I don't know if you read white fear or white fragility, but you need to school yourself on racism in America. You need to do the work, or you're perpetuating the problem.
Dude, I just want to make this idea. What's with you? And either you do it, put in the black lesbian transgender character, or you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. Your game might not be made because you're perpetuating racism. Stretch out your whiteness.
I need to leave the room because I don't feel safe. I feel like you're making this an unsafe space for me. I just need some space from your whiteness. It's really bothering me, and I can't take it. We should have separate spaces.
So you want to reverse segregate? And how are you not safe? I just said I don't want to force these things into my story and game. What does that have to do with safety?
I don't want to argue with you. If you can't understand your own white fragility and you want a white spleen, then you can leave.
Okay? You see how this is literally reverse racism? But people spent so much time years ago experiencing real racism. Now they want to fight racism with, well, racism itself? Yeah, that's working out so well. Guys, we need every race and everybody for these movies, games, TV shows, and society and the government, jobs, etc. We need all people for these things. You can't just exclude one group based on the sins of the father, punishing the children for what the people way before them did. That isn't fair, and it will affect everyone because instead of hiring based on merit or putting people in power based on their skills or letting people freely and creatively express their ideas, that's so fucking evil. They can't even express what they love. You're gonna pigeonhole them and try to get them in trouble for having the audacity to love their idea and want to do it the way they want to enjoy it? Yeah, that's fucking evil. Killing brilliant ideas? Excluding other groups of people and companies? Getting rid of white men? That's not gonna affect the enjoyment of the game or anything. You see this, and this is the problem. This is why Kim Belair is evil. This is the first episode of Analyzing Evil. This person has exhibited deep narcissistic traits with reverse racist manipulative behavior because
Pay me to shoot down your white male lead ideas.
so who needs that? Glorification of homosexuality? Yeah. The feminization of men? Oh yeah. No wonder girls keep saying
Ew, he's so feminine. He needs to grow a pair of balls.
feminization of men because men are bad. Enforcing an equity and inclusion, which is code for reverse racism, because why not? Enforcing an equity and inclusion, which is code for reverse racism, because why not? Fun games that don't care about race?
You're a right winger.
Great games that make you feel inspired and have either natural diversity or don't even care about any of that stuff? And it's just great?
You're promoting violence and hate.
Gay people? Hell yeah. Lesbians? Why not? But masculine men?
Look out, it's hate speech.
And this is just the first episode of Analyzing Evil with Kim Belair. Thank you for watching.